I came across a quote the other day that says, "Learn something new, try something different, convince yourself that you have no limits." That's by Brian Tracy. That really has been kind of a newer thing for me the past few years. I used to be really kind of afraid to try something new because I was always afraid of failing. And I decided that I'm tired of feeling like I'm scared to fail. Tired of letting that kind of hold me back from the things that I want to do. So today I'm going to work on our fence. See how ridiculous this storage container is to open. But I got it open. My husband always seems to do it so easy. And every time I'm doing it, it's always a pain in the butt, but I just have to keep trying and it'll open eventually. I just don't make it look as effortless. So today I'm going to be working on our fence that's down on our lower part of our property. On this property, there's quite a few different fences. You'll see that chain link fence right there. There's a part of a chain link fence on this side, and there's a wooden fence that's all busted up that I need to repair and just kind of make it into another wooden fence. And then on the other side, then there's a wire fence that's about 6 feet tall. And then on the east side of the property, there's a wire fence that's been pushed down over the years. There's a lot of deers that run through this property, and I think just by them running through it and jumping over the fence, I don't know. I mean, it's all pushed down in most of the areas, so in total we'll have to put up probably about 500 or 600 feet of fence. And ultimately I don't want a wire fence. Ultimately I'd like to have a wooden fence, but this is just gonna have to do for right now. It's less of a priority for me to have a beautiful fence than what it is to be able to build our house. And we're trying to build our house debt-free, and so everything that we're doing is just kind of by priority. And right now, just having a boundary for our property is more of a priority than making it my dream fence. So right now I am setting my far post down on the corner of our property. That way I can tie a string to it and have a string line that will help me keep the rest of the post straight. As you can see, our actual property line is set back further where that chain link fence is, but our neighbor kind of dug out a little ways, and it kind of went into our property, and kind of our property sits up higher. And so you can kind of see right here, so it's not really, it's kind of dug out right there in that corner edge. And so I can't put a fence there because there's nothing to grab onto it. So I just kind of set it back a little bit. because I'd like to plant blackberries, raspberries, different kinds of bushes all around the fence line. My hope is to keep the deers from coming in and jumping over this fence by feeding them well on the outside of the fence, because this is kind of the area that I'm going to be doing a garden and having some of my fruit and nut trees all throughout. If you've ever used one of these post hole drivers, they're super difficult. Like they're heavy because they're made out of metal, of course, but they're hard on your shoulders. My shoulders were really sore after this. And actually, this first day I was only able to do about 5 of them before I was like, okay, I can barely move my arms now. And right now I'm just pulling it back to make sure that it lines up well with the string line that I set. At our old house, my husband and I built a vinyl fence on part of the property, and it wasn't really hard, it was just disappointing, I think. Here in Northern California it gets really hot during the summer, so sometimes then we get 115 degree weeks, and it was not, the vinyl fence did not do well in that kind of weather. It started actually disintegrating. I remember a rock was thrown when we were mowing the lawn, and it threw a rock and it went through the fence, like all the way through it. There was 2 layers in that fence and it went through both like it was nothing. So we decided, although vinyl fences look really beautiful, out here they just don't do well, and it costs a lot of money, which is fine if it lasts a long time, but it just didn't. So the important thing about making a fence is obviously keeping your fence straight. So you want to do a string line, and then you want to, as you're kind of setting your posts down in the ground, you want to use a level to make sure that your posts are standing straight up and down as well, as close to straight up and down as possible. And then I'm just spacing these out every 10 feet. You can space them out closer depending on your property. I have a lot of stickers out right now. This time of year, we get all those little burr stickers. They stick to everything. So I just try to take them off before I leave, so I'm not bringing them home, and certainly not washing my clothes with those, because I don't know if you've ever washed your clothes with those types of stickers, but it doesn't do well. They'll stay on your clothes after you wash them, and then they're just like ingrained in there, so it's easier to just take them off, even though it's time consuming. So now all the posts are set, and I started to string up the wire, but I need my fence stretcher, so it basically pulls the wire like taut, so that way it lines up nicer. But I have that in the garage right now, and so it's not here. So I need to go and grab that to finish it. And this was our front gate. It was, at first my husband and I, when we set the posts, we set them a little bit too far apart. And so we had to dig it back up and reset the post. So happy because the gate's been just sitting up against the posts, so every time I'd come to the property, then I'd have to lift it up and move it. And in between doing any work, we have a little hammock on the property, and I just love to sit and swing and just kind of listen to the birds and look up at the sky. Just enjoy a few moments of peace before getting back to work again. It's kind of a little bit overcast today. It's been nice and cool. And we brought some lumber over from our other property, and so we're starting to stack up the lumber, and we're going to go and grab some concrete blocks because that's what we're building our house out of. So we're just starting to kind of start bringing over some of those supplies. So that's one of the main reasons why I want to put up any kind of fence, just a smaller, just a deterrent to keep people from just walking on the property. And right now I want to put up a privacy fence that you can buy on Amazon. That's where I buy them. I put one up at our old house on our back fence. It was white. I liked that one. It was really nice. It was thicker than this one. This one's pretty transparent. So I wasn't super happy about that, but I guess that these ones are better in the wind, because at our old house it was it would fly around in the wind and rip out the zip ties sometimes, and just I'd always have to go out and repair it, put more zip ties around it, and then I ended up putting like some welded wire around some of the main parts at our old house, because it was just, I don't think it let much air go through it, so when the wind kicked up it was really yanking on it. So with this one, I think from the description on Amazon it was saying that it does better in the wind, lets more air through, but with that comes a little bit less privacy, which I don't know. Eventually, like I said, I want to put a wood fence up, but I'm just doing what I can do right now. And for 50 feet of 6 foot high fencing, it was I think $60, and so I bought 2 of them, so I got 100 feet done this day. It just kind of helps. There's a dog that lives next door, and kind of where we park is right where the dog is, and so I think this will help to just kind of make it where the dog's not barking every time we're there. We'll see. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope to keep sharing our homestead build with you. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.